Hey guys, James here again. This is going to be What If Team White Were Always Together. Now, this is in celebration of Blue Lock anime coming out, and this is just going to be a Blue Lock based What If. Now, if you guys know what Team White is basically, well, members consist of Yoichi Isagi, Meguru Bashira, I can't forget pronunciation, Seishiro Nagi, Ikiniko, Zanetsu, Tsurugi, Ryo Mikage, Shoei Baro, Hyoma Chigiri, Ryusei Shindo, and Grimu Igarashi. Those members of Team White. I can go over all their abilities as well. Isagi basically specializes in creating play opportunities, like kind of just plans basically. But also Isagi can also smell, or quote unquote smell, the opportunity for goals. So he's basically the best one for plans. But he also always adapts and can devour anyone he wants to for the basically the ideal of scoring a goal at any moment. So yeah. Meguru Bashira basically specializes in masterful ball control. Also has his own egoist ball control style, which is basically he doesn't pass but passes up everyone else in front of him, and just doesn't pass the ball and relies on himself only for dribbling. So yeah. And then there's Seishiro Nagi, who's probably like one of the most OP characters in the whole series. So Zero made a synopsis or discussion video on him, so go check that out. And basically, he also specializes in creating goal opportunities, but also he has masterful ball control, but also specializes in creating traps. So he's pretty good. There's Ikiniko, who specializes in basically reading the field and having advanced spatial awareness, which allows him to basically be an expert defender no matter where he's at. So Nico's also pretty good. Plus, he relies more on brains and brawn. On this team, I think with Mikage and Isagi, he'd be put on the sidelines for intelligence. Even though he's number 3, he'd be on the sidelines. So yeah, but Nico's pretty good. Tsurugi, basically, he specializes in attacking, stealing, and speed. The fact that he uses his left foot for scoring makes him almost unreadable at times, so that enhances his power as well. Mikage. Basically, he's a jack of all trades, as he is like a 99 in every single category for being a scorer. The point where he may be maybe number 2 to only Nagi. So, yeah. Because him and Nagi are kind of like best friends. Or were. I've read Blue Lock in a long time. So, yeah. I think I stopped reading it in like maybe, I think March. So I need to pick it back up. Probably earlier than March, probably even January. But yeah. Mikage basically specializes in stamina, and also kind of like the anchor of the team is he keeps them all grounded and kind of just strategize as on Team White. For this series, Mikage and Isagi would be the team captains. Isagi is more like the co-captain who specializes in like planning, but then Mikage would execute the plans perfectly to everything that Isagi says, because if you don't follow what he says, you're likely not going to score. So yeah. Mikage specializes in stamina, being the anchor of the team. He's a jack of all trades, but can also copy some styles of soccer or football. But yeah, I'm gonna say soccer because I'm an American, even though I know it's called football. It's just I think of football. I think of American football. So yeah, just for the sake of my own mind, and I don't mess up like terms. I'm just gonna refer to it as soccer. So yeah. Shoei Baro basically specializes in holding and charging the ball. Dribbling is also really good for him. Feinting, and he's also very unpredictable as he specializes in villainous soccer, which allows him to basically be selfish with the ball. But this man is also a fucking tank. Like, he has superhuman durability at age, like, he's superhuman at age 18 because of just, man's jacked. Also specializes from scoring from midfield. So, yeah, that's his whole thing. Scoring, midfield, he's also insanely durable and cocky and arrogant and selfish. Alright. Hyoma Chigiri. Basically speed. Speed and counterattacks. That's Chigiri. So yeah. Also aim is kind of on the side, I guess. Chigiri is just speed and counters. That's kind of all he is. Ryusei Shindo. Shindo. He's called the insect guy. He has it's like antennas. It's like his hairstyle. He has like two strands, not two strands of hair. He's like these two pieces of hair that go down, so they're called antennas. So yeah, But he's also a villain as well, somewhat, as he is. He's good at stealing shots. He has insanely good reflexes, and he's somewhat acrobatic. So the man is also just all around. Like, he's the kind of guy who can, like, fucking have the ball in the air, do a backflip, and kick it halfway across the field into the goal. That's like the kind of acrobat Shindo is. This man is the Liu Kang of soccer. So yeah, Girimu Igarashi. I mean, yeah. Honestly, I don't like him at all because he's like a 3 out of 5 on everything. Like, he's on like the okay side, but he's just so average that he has no skills. Like, look at his Wikipedia page. It is blank. He has no skills at all. So yeah, you guys are probably seeing up here on the screen. So my phone's on the charger now. So yeah. But yeah, Igarashi has no skill, and at this point, they kind of use him as bait. So he's kind of just bait, even though he's actually an okay player. He's goodish, okayish. It's just he's bait. That's kind of what he is the whole series. At least for this one, that's what he is. So yeah, right now I've got my notes ready and everything, and we can probably start this what if now. All right, so the first part would probably be how they become a team. So 4 years before the beginning of the story, Baro is, I believe, the oldest on the team, alongside Shindo, so they'd both be around 14 at this point, and Isagi and everyone else on the team would be 13. And at this point, well, Igo is trying to set up a team for the future, as the Block project is being thought about, and eventually Igo is also scouting teams, and he's scouting teams to find players to be in Blue Block. Now he finds a few teams, and Isagi's team does not seem to be special at all. But then he looks at Isagi play, and realizes that Isagi doesn't have anyone good on his team, even though he's good. He's Isagi trying to make plans, trying to do everything he can to make sure his team scores, but they don't listen to him because he's just so average. Eventually, Igo decides to contact Isagi, telling him he has a team that will be hard to get along with at first. But Igo says that he'll make sure that Isagi will have his plans fulfilled to the maximum. Isagi's mother does recognize what Isagi tries to do as well, so she'll let Isagi join this team. Bachira. Yeah, there's no chance that Bachira would say no to this. Bachira is just happy to be on the team. Like, Bachira's a madman. He's cool. So yeah. So Bachira's mom just lets him join. Nagi. He just follows Mikage, who's been told that he'd be the captain of the team alongside Isagi, who makes the best goal opportunities. So Mikage and Nagi join as a duo. Now Ikiniko basically he joined the fact that he heard about Nagi, Isagi, and Mikage. Those are the 2 interest points. So yeah. Then Baro was like a bit more hesitant to join because he's Baro, but eventually he's told about Mikage who can copy a few moves. And Baro's like, sounds annoying. I want to put these bastards in their place so that they know I'll always be the best. If I play these guys as my enemies, it'll be less effective. I'll make them feel inferior to me at all times. So for the sake that he could prove he's better than someone, he'll join. For the sake of his ego, he joins, which actually made Ego proud. By the way, his name is Jinpachi Ego. That's his actual name. So, but Baro showing he has he's egoist, basically. Jinpachi thinks it's cool. I also almost read that as Kenpachi, but it's not Kin, it's Jin. So yeah. Now Hyoma Chigiri can take a break on soccer, I believe, at some point, but still right here he'd actually be intrigued by Isagi, so he'd join. But yeah. What else? Shindo. The ideas of Nagi, Mikage, and Baro for Shindo made him... Those 3 together are like a wet dream to Shindo. So he would just join for the same reason as Baro, to prove that he's better than them, and to scare the living shit out of them all. Igarashi. He was just going to promise to be put on a team with pros, or people who play like pros, as a group. Yeah, he honestly needed bait for an all-around okay player, so, yeah. But, yeah. Now, for 4 years, this team plays together. Now, usually it took them like almost like 4 months to get to like play together perfectly. But by the time it came to 4 years, even Rin, even Rin Itoshi was actually very intrigued by them wanting to join the team. But Ego straight up refused him, saying that Rin may be better than most people on the team individually, but he doubts even his brother's team could beat this one. And one big thing that happened is that Isagi said that they needed to be on equal playing field in some aspects so that they could all work together perfectly. Someone like Nico or Igarashi, they're not holding up perfectly. Isagi's pretty much all around okay in terms, but they don't get spatial awareness. He takes over Nico, but Nico also doesn't rely on physical ability too much. He needs to work on that. Igarashi is just basic, so yeah. With this team is basically just all around pros for physical durability. Like for durability, someone like running them on the field and they'll just not even be moved by them. For speed, if they're about to be run into, they'll just run ahead even farther. Like their speeds are almost equal to Chigiri, almost. Igarashi is the slowest one, but he's still pretty fast. So being a 3 out of 5, he's like a 4.2 out of 5. So yeah, everyone else on the team is like 5 out of 5, 5 out of 5. For work categories, they're 5 out of 5. Igarashi did improve majorly by being a 4.6 out of 5 for scoring. So yeah. Now we'll start the series where we don't see Isagi crying because his team loses. Instead, we should see them celebrating for a win, and Ego would invite them to Blue Lock. They've seen Ego in around 2 years as he resigned to their coach, as they have passed him on to a whole different coach. But this coach couldn't control the team at all because Bado refused to listen to him and Shindo scared him. So, yeah. So basically, it's more or less Mikage and Isagi being the coaches of the team, and then Nico, Isagi, and Mikage setting up the plans. So, yeah. But when they arrive at the Japan Football Union building, or soccer building, they encounter the team that they've beaten. And then the guy that they encounter is named Kira. So yeah. But Ego introduces himself to all the players and everything. And yeah. And he says that, everyone here needs the ego to match. It's like everyone here needs to have an ego to become the greatest in the world. And with the team saying, you 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You 10 have egos. You guys' egos are make you one of the best teams in Japan. Individually, you all could probably take over Blue Lock. Whenever I heard about that, they realized that this is an experienced team together, and they've been playing for 4 years. And individually, they would take over Blue Lock. So yeah. So eventually, Isagi was set to the gates with Igarashi, like everyone does so. So yeah. Hold up. Alright, the next game is tag. So yeah. So basically, how the game worked is that basically, if you're you have to pass the ball to someone else. So yeah. Now with this, eventually, Isagi would actually not really get hit at all. So yeah, he's not it ever. But eventually, we do see Bachira having interest in the ball, and he would actually we see Isagi Bachira was trying to get the ball. When the ball comes flying at him, he kicks the ball so high in the air, and only person that's able to actually jump and get it is actually Bachira. Like the Bachira is all the team trained immensely, and the only one who can actually keep up with Shindo's acrobatics is Bachira and Chigiri. Those are the only two able to compare to the acrobatics. So Chigiri's the one, not Chigiri, Bachira's the one to actually do it. So Bachira's having fun, and eventually the loser of tag is still Kira. So, yeah. So, yeah. Now, the numbers for the teams. I believe there's around 300 players in Blue Lock. Isagi himself ranks within the top 30. Isagi's physical stats are good, but among the top 30, he's honestly pretty basic. But I'm not giving you an exact number for him, he's just in the top 30. So yeah. For Bachira, everything about him makes him insane, it's just his planning isn't that good, so he makes it to the top 15, being at number 14. But then we have number 1, happens to be, it's not Rin, it's actually Mikage, pushing Rin to number 2. Then number 3, Nagi. Nagi kind of relies on Isagi, Nico, and Mikage for planning, but he's still really good either way. So like he's the best when he relies on someone, but still on his own he's insanely good. So that's why he's number 3. Nico, he places in the top 30 with Isagi. And then Tsurugi, he places in the top 20. Then Mikage, number 1. Bado places in the top 15. I'll put him in the top 8. I'll put him in the top 8. Shindo, top 8. Igarashi, around like rank 96. So, yeah. But, yeah. Now, what's the next arc? Oh, yeah, the Team Z. Team Z. Now, the Team Z would basically be, I would say, well, because they ran in and they're probably still the same team, I could, I could see Ego wanting to increase the team's rankings by having them do their own things individually, but having Bachira and Isagi together is just going to make a monster either way, and having these together would probably have like there's this. Basically, there's at least 2 from each. So out of the 10 players on Team White, there's basically just 2 and 2. So Isagi and Meguru, or Isagi and Bachira, whatever you want to call them. Now the interesting pairing here is Nagi and Nico. Those two are paired together because Nagi relies on 3 people: Nico, Isagi, Mikage. And in Blue Lock, Nico would be most effective, so Nico is going to be the one selected. So yeah, Tsurugi and Mikage, those 2 are together. Shohei or Bado and Chigiri together. Basically just they're both rely on their physical abilities or their physical stats way better than like their soccer stats. So yeah. So basically speed and durability. Then it's Shindo and Igarashi. Shindo has to protect Igarashi a lot. But to replace Igarashi on Team Z, I could see it being maybe someone like Hold up. Okay, so I have everything figured out now. I do want to say one thing, is that if you guys were wondering about the rankings and why everyone is going these places, despite the rankings being A through Z, because of positions. The white team, basically, or Team White, they're being spread apart to increase their individual power no matter who they're playing with. This whole goal is to increase them individually or as a duo, so that they can work with anyone they need, no matter their skill. Because when they joined Team White, they were all, well, relatively different, but over the 4 years, they all got closer in power. But then, now here, there's someone like Isagi, who's almost in the realm of the pros, playing with people who can probably even survive a whole game with 1 pro as a group. So yeah. So Isagi and Bachira are in the same boat, as they're both entering the realm of pros, while there were people who couldn't survive that realm. They have Igarashi, who's not entering the realm of the pros, but he's better than a basic kid his age. So, yeah. The first match would basically be Team X versus Team Z. Team Z being Isagi and Bachira's team, and Team X being Bado and Chigiri's team. Also, I realized that Chigiri is on Team, what was it? Team Z originally. So I need to find a replacement for Chigiri. So, yeah, I can probably replace him off the top of my head, actually. Give me a second to think about that. Replacing Chigiri. Huh. This is difficult still, but I want to replace him with... You guys don't judge me for this, but I want to replace him with Ardu. Ardu's the guy that jumps really high, and he has the long hair and everything. Long hair jumps high. He's also really fast, and I believe he was supposed to be Chigiri's rival at some point as well. So yeah. So Ardu basically just replacing on Chigiri on Team Z. So yeah. And Isagi basically sees how his team plays and everything, and his team is kind of just alienating him and Bachir because they're already a team before. But then when Isagi and Bachir realize that their team are even stealing from each other and they can't stop Bado from doing anything, Isugi and Bachira look at each other, and Baro and Nico stare at each other. Not Bachira and Nico. Baro and Chigiri stare at each other. With that, Bachira walked over to the side of the field where he saw Chigiri, and Isugi stared down Baro. Everyone on the field felt the tension rising between these two, and Baro just called Isugi a peasant who can't get past him, playing like a villain to Isugi. So he smirked as everyone started moving again because Ego warned them. As soon as Baro and Isugi charged each other, Bachira and Chigiri are closing in on each other. Now Baro kept the ball close to him, but Isugi already knew a lot of Baro's plays because, well, he encourages Baro to play differently sometimes. So with the way that Baro's playing, Isugi already knew how he's playing. And eventually, Baro did realize something. He's never played Isugi as an enemy. They argued a lot, and that's about it. They trained a little bit as well, but they practiced goal and everything, but they mainly trained together, but also against each other. Like, they played together, but also against each other at the same time, so there's never an all-out rivalry. But now they're actually playing against each other, like, they're genuinely training against each other now. That's never happened before. And Baro already knew he's probably in danger. Isugi was actually considering him a bad guy, but then again, so was Baro. So with this, eventually, Isugi did devour Baro in some way, and she stole the ball from him, which everyone on Team X was shocked that Baro had the ball taken from him. But then eventually when Isugi stole the ball, Bachira jumped clean over Chigiri somehow, and kicked the ball, and Isugi kicked the ball right at him. Now with that, Isugi seemed to run in and take the ball, only had the ball kicked by Bachira clean into the goal, while he was still midair. We see Artie looking at this, genuinely amazed by Bachira's physical ability, and as soon as Bachira landed, he says, I guess me and you will have to dominate, Isugi. Isugi just high-fived him, saying, guess so. With this, we basically see these two monsters devouring the team, with Artie occasionally getting a bit of playtime. But other than that, Isugi keeps the ball away from his team because they can't play together, no matter how nice they're being to him and giving them the ball sometimes. If they keep arguing to steal the ball from each other, Bachira runs in, stealing it, and gives it to Isugi, and Isugi kind of guides them to the goal. But honestly, Isugi's planning will kind of work against Team X because he's the best at it, and he already knew how Chigiri and Baro play, so he's the best at it. Plus, Baro lost Chigiri, Baro and Chigiri lost against Isugi and Bachira, so yeah. And Bachira's the only one that can actually close in on the realm of like acrobatics for Shindo and speed for Chigiri, so he's almost equal to both of them in their own perfect aspects. So yeah. And Isugi's mind also simply just unmatched until it comes down to Ikage and Nico, so yeah. But then again, mine's still unmatched by those two, so it doesn't matter. So, yeah. So now with this, they eventually do have to, the match ends with the score being 5-1 in canon. In this one, it was more or less, I would say, 6-3. So by half, they won. So yeah, but everyone does notice one thing about Bachira, Chigiri, Isagi, and Baro. They're not sweating. They're just panting. Everyone else on the field is dripping sweat. As they try to get some playtime, it is just that their teams sucked so badly that they get the ball away from them. So yeah. Like, they basically had them, like you know how you play video games with someone, but then someone's like a little kid, but they leave their controller unplugged so they don't know they're not playing. Isagi and his team basically had the equivalent of doing that to their teammates, until it came down to, like, a select maybe one or two members. So, yeah. But when it's in the locker room for the next match, everyone's yelling at Bachira and even a little bit of Artiu. Isagi and Bachira got to get the most of it, though, wondering why they didn't get the ball. The main one that's the most vocal about it happens to be, I would probably say most likely, being Raichi. Raichi's one of the most angry about it, and, well, immediately Kunigami kind of spoke up saying he's a bit intrigued by that as well. But Raichi eventually had grabbed Isagi by, like, the collar. Thus, Isagi stands up to Baro and Shindo constantly, also at the point where he does learn a bit of, like, fighting is a decent way to train. So as soon as Raichi grabbed him, Isagi kind of just headbutted him, clean in the face. So yeah. which no one expected Isagi to do because he seems really kind and nice. His personality did not change at all. It is just, he is scary when it comes to soccer. So yeah. And Kunigami immediately kind of stopped yelling because not yelling, kind of stopped like arguing. And Butcher spoke up at the plan, saying that, you guys can't play this team. You guys play. We all play similar positions, so we all play how we want to, and we play differently. Me and Isagi and Ardu had the ball most of the time. Ardu, a little bit. You had a little bit. We had the ball most of the time because we're used to playing properly, so by us playing the same positions. Everyone on our team played almost the exact same way. By the time we got used to each other. And Isagi kind of spoke up, saying that he knows how to get an opposing team together. So they all need to share their secrets and form a plan, so they all get reasonable ball time. Now Raichi is immediately against this, but everyone else on the team, being like Lemon, Gagamaru, Naruheya, Imamura, they're all for it. So yeah. Isagi also called out Kuwan as like a backstabber, as he has no trust in his team, even though he seems to have some. And Kuwan kind of mentioned that Isagi's right. So yeah. But eventually, with Isagi's help, they're able to form a perfect team. And Isagi's like, this team will fall apart quickly because I have to do this on a whim. Well, we still have like a game soon. So yeah. But yeah, so with this we go on now to Team Z versus Team Y. So hold up. So they all have their own weapons, and they even like have their own like time to eat and everything. They all do their thing. They all train together at times. Yeah. Team Y though. Team Y is Nagi and Nico. So one with a master of the area and one with a master of traps. So yeah, that's not good at all. And Isagi knows this because he can trap a little bit, but that's about it. But with Nico, there's just one thing. Nico has to adapt quickly to the acrobatics of Shindo and Bachira. Bachira's acrobatics are hard to adapt to because this man moves insanely fast, but also very acrobatic, and can keep the ball in the air with his feet the whole time. The man can also throw the ball with using his feet, and he can throw the ball with his feet. Bachira's basically just a giant circus clown at this point when it comes to soccer, and he's a damn good one. So yeah. So yeah, also came to food. Half of Isagi's team cannot eat well. Isagi is the only one that like ate perfectly because his stats are kind of just like he'll give some good food because he knows that Isagi's adapting quickly. Isagi's points already rose up because he's the one that formed his team to somewhat decent stats now. So Isagi went from like I'll give him like a number now of like 25. As I said, he was in the top 30. Isagi joined like the top 20 now. So Isagi now is a number of 19, so he's okay. But yeah, so Isagi can eat well and everything. They all get everything they want. And yeah. Now like basically for the team meeting, everyone had a plan, and Bachira had his whole plan was basically just team up with Ardu the whole match. Isagi will guide everyone else. The main people he says he's not to guide are going to be Raichi, Kunigami, and Gagamaru. Those three would make the most dangerous trio. Then, if they're guided by him, they'll be perfect. Bachira agrees, and then the match with Team Y starts. With Bachira and Ardu being both insanely acrobatic, well, Nico has to adapt to them both, and it's really hard for him to do that because one moves like a demon, and the other one is simply just jumping over everyone else, kicking the ball around. Technically, what they're doing is not against the rules. It is just very aggravating to watch. So yeah. Then Isagi basically dived halfway through the field with Kunigami and Raichu by his side and told them what to do. This is what they're told. Everyone, they're not playing conventional soccer, they're not guarded, they're not guarding or anything. They're just running around the field towards the ball, not guarding anyone, even if they're on defense. The ball's their main priority, not whoever they're guarding. But again, Ardu's the only one supposed to be on defense. Because he's the one that runs around fast enough, so in Bachira, those two are the only ones allowed to be on defense. Everyone else is just straight up offense, even if they're supposed to be on the defensive. With Archie being insanely aggressive up close and even being pretty durable, but when it came to like Nagi had the ball, Nagi's not fazed by him. It is just that he's very I won't say constant. That'd be weird to say. Very determined. So yeah. Well, with Archie being very determined to get the ball, ball, but also the plan that happened. He even agrees it's perfect. So yeah. So Urashi being very trying to get the ball from Nagi, and reaching the point where Kunigami intervening to get the ball, trying to get the ball as well. It's arguing the both saying steal it from each other. But this confused Nagi, like, steal it from each other, I have the ball. Then Nagi realized that Isagi knows, only Isagi is supposed to know what that means. But immediately Raichi and Kunigami got it, and they then kicked at each other's feet. Nagi realized that they're ignoring him, and with that he got a bit confused. Only for Kunigami to steal the ball, and Raichi still kept going to try to get the ball from him. Raichi got the ball. They both kind of got the balls. It got kicked in the air. Bachira got it. Kicked the ball towards Ryu, who kicked it towards Isagi. Isagi kicked the ball clean to the goal. So yeah, that was basically the match for Team Y. Was that Raichi and Kunigami had to be aggressive towards each other. Gagamaru just had to focus on making sure that the ball didn't escape anyone's athletic grasp. Even though he's mainly the goalie, he can have to supervise things from a distance sometimes. So yeah. But then the match with Team Y basically ends in the score. As well, also Gagamaru is also pretty good with his head, by the way. You mentioned that, but he's mainly the goalie. He's the best at that. But yeah, the score ended with, I would say, possibly it was 6-3 when they fought. When they not fought. It was 6-3 when they had Bato and Chigiri on one team. But then again, they both weren't master planners. Nico and Nagi can be individually, but they're on team now. But also, everyone on the team, both of these people were stamina monsters. So I could see the score being a bit higher at 7-4, or 7-5. I'll go 7-5, being with Nagi being a complete monster in his own right. So yeah, just for Nagi hype, it's 7-5. They barely won. But still, Isagi's planning is basically putting him ahead of everyone else with Bachira and Ryu, and also Kunigami and Raichi. So yeah. Also, with Isagi's help for being a bully for Gagamaru, Gagamaru is pretty much able to grab anything he wants to. He tells him perfect ways to guard. Like, oh, if it's going up this way, you should laser use your head. If it's going this way, use your arms. So yeah. But yeah, they basically win 7-5. This time Nico doesn't cry. It is just he's actually just panting and sweating. So yeah, this man's exhausted. So yeah, but with this we go into just a few more matches and hanging out and everything and training a bit more. And Isagi's having Bato and Raichi practice. Not Bato and Raichi and Kunigami practice their what was it? They're basically steal the ball from each other technique, or the self-attack technique, or team attack. Friendly fire technique. This is what it's called, the friendly fire technique. This practice is basically them kicking each other, trying to get the ball in any way possible, while actually going the same way. Now there's just a mixture of acting and directing. But with two people trying to do it their own way, take for example, two people are like, oh, this is a long way here, this is a long way here. I'm gonna do it my own way. Or if it's a shortcut here, there's a shortcut here. We're gonna do it our own way, but we still need to go from point A to point B. Like your own way, my own way to point B. Trying to do their own thing in their own way to get to the same goal. This is they're trying to do the ball. And Raichi and Kunigami struggling because they're kind of different people, basically. Kind of. They're very different. They have very contradicting personalities. But Isagi's helping his team in the best way possible now. As he said, he's having Bachira and Gagamaru and Ryu practice as a trio, so that they can kind of get the ball. And Isagi is helping Kuwama planning, and Kuwama should just see the value in Isagi's planning and to analyze them to a T. So yeah. Then we have not Kunigami. We have Lemon, who's basically a pretty okay player all around. So hold up. Alright, so the ways that Isagi trains Team Z. Basically for Naruhea specializes in breaking defense, and also he has really good analysis, so he can break the defense even more effective. So Isagi would have Kuon and Naruhea training together, so that Naruhea learns how to break through even the best defenses, like Baro's defense, which is just a single-man defense who's built like a tank. So yeah. So he has to pick things apart piece by piece and do it perfectly, but do it fast. Gagamaru is supposed to be a goalie, and he has to train against people like Aryu and Bachira. But then also there's another goalie, Lemon. His name is Okuhito Lemon, yeah, or Lemon. Basically, he trains with them as well as I did read his page a bit, as he's very unnotable. But he's also a goalkeeper. So Isagi kind of has him practice defense. So the only people that should be on defense are basically Bachira, Aryu, and Lemon. Those are the three that should be on defense. Only three. Well, and now Naruheya. So yeah, he's doing all he's offense. So yeah, Bachira, Lemon, Aryu. Those three basically, those four basically, they train as a group constantly to just focus on defense because Gagamaru's there as well. Gagamaru is actually catching and kicking away. Lemon's supposed to just basically focus on kind of being able to react to anything, so it's reflex training for him. Gagamaru is hand-eye coordination. Lemon is reflex. Butcher isn't doing any kind of training. He's honestly just coaching like Isagi is, because Isagi was the main coach, and Butcher is kind of just perfect all around. Aryu is being trained by Butcher most of the time. Kunigami and Raichi have to learn how to play as a duo, as they're both the most persistent, but also the best out of everyone on the team besides Isagi, Aryu, and Bachira. Kuon is just studying with Isagi and Naruheya. And Imamura specializes in speed and technique. He doesn't affect on the team at all, it's just he's fast. So yeah. But Imamura also practices with Naruheya and Kuon. So yeah. But they train this whole time. Isagi even has them doing like daily workouts to actually focusing on their durability. So yeah. So he also has them had to find like someone to play through pain for endurance and durability training. It's someone he'll look at you like saying, all right, you're training today's durability. How to train on that? He'll stomp on your foot 10 times over before you even realize what's happening, and he'll make you play through that. So yeah. This is kind of Isagi's whole thing of training, is just he'll train you any way possible, no matter how unreasonable it is, and it'll still work. That is just how good Isagi is as a coach. So yeah. So by the time it came to Team W versus them, Team W is, I believe, the twins. Yeah. Junichi Wanama and Keisuke Wanama. Basically, I'm pretty sure they're both kind of just built like monsters and tanks, and they also sabotage Chiguri's leg. The thing is, Isagi's already beaten these guys outside of Blue Lock before, and he knows how they play. But they don't know how he plays because he's mainly the one breaking them apart without even doing anything to them directly. So they don't know how to break through him, but he can break through them just like their paper. So he basically tells his whole team throughout this game, they're not going to do anything. Leave the whole playing to him, and Bachira. And if Kunigami wants, same for Raichi, basically him, Kunigami, Raichi, and Bachira. Those four are the only ones allowed to have the ball. Once everyone gets ready, and the play starts. Now, Isagi from the start immediately broke into pieces with really no difficulty. So yeah, so with this, Bachira kind of hops over the two of them easily. Kunigami actually is the one to rush in with Raichi by his side, and he tells them both, steal the ball from Bachira. They both run in, trying to get the ball from Bachira as the crowd. But then when everyone realizes the plan, actually, Bachira kind of kick the ball up in the air using both feet, Kunigami and Raichi boosting it. Isagi then runs and kicks the ball into the goal, with everyone thinking the ball is still going to be between the three, kicking it around. And Wanima and Keisuke are the only ones to see what they're doing. And they can get their team to guide properly, because the team's relying on them to do every little thing properly, but it's not working either way. So Isagi's whole thing is just to have Wanima and Keisuke's team break down while still relying on them, making Wanima and Keisuke having a full-on mental breakdown because nothing's going right. Basically, it's just to basically scare them to the point, make them so angry that they don't want to play anymore. That's like the whole thing. The whole thing is that they're expressing different emotions on their face, pretty sure, yeah, how to phrase this. Wanima, not Wanima, the last name is Wanima, but Junichi. Junichi looks constantly very sad or just confused. Then Keisuke looks very happy, and that's about it. He looks like very sarcastically happy. So he's making a joke by the way, making them express what emotions they're having. But Keisuke turns like the angry happy. Like, he has a smile, but he's very angry. And then Junichi has a sad expression with a very just tears running down his face as he's screaming in anger. And it's been to the point where they just forfeit before the match is over. This is the whole thing. And so Ishii's always done to them is make them forfeit. So yeah. So they stomped, basically. That's the best way to put it. And because Chigiri was on this team, there's nothing that he needed to do. Also, Kuon didn't sabotage them. So, yeah. But, yeah. Now what else? I would say that the score for this game, because Ishii kind of made them forfeit, the score doesn't really matter. They won either way. But Ishii also broke them apart, not letting them get the ball either way, because Kunigami and Raichi are learning how to steal the ball from anyone, including each other. So these two basically steal the ball constantly, or Bachir steals it constantly. Isagi always devours someone and takes them out, even if it's just him being very calm. So basically, Isagi's unguardable because he's terrifying, and everyone else is just honestly too fast or too determined to keep the ball to themselves, and it's very concerning. So yeah, I'm putting the score at 10-0. So yeah, 10-0 before they forfeited. And the next one is Team V versus Team Z, which is Tsurugi and Mikage. Which is basically the same as in canon, it's just that Nagi's not here. So yeah. Hold up real quick. So yeah, so they're kind of just, here's this. They just do their thing for a bit, just more training until they they go against Team V. But honestly, this video is going pretty long right now, and we're probably going to get through the introduction arc in the next part. But otherwise, I hope you guys enjoyed this What If, like and subscribe for more. Adios.